thanks for being part of the show today, and we are back on time on the second segment of the show as we are hosting Muktar Muhammed all the way from Lagos to join us to explain the passage of these two key tax bills. Muktar Muhammed, a very good day to you.
Good afternoon, all the way from Lagos.
Exactly, all the way from Lagos, a coast city. Now let's get down to the issue of today. All right, Muktar, what's your reaction to the two tax bills that have been passed? Because we have been expecting the four of them to come in a row, but here we are, two have now scaled through. What's your reaction to that?
I tell you, it's a good bill. I want to be sincere. Even if we don't have a perfect bill, we can never have any perfect bill. But if there's any bill that I think I have supported, is a tax reform bill, because it's a bill that will tend to address a lot of economic problems, especially in the supply chain area, and also in the ease of doing business, and also the informal sector. For me, that's just what I liked about this two bills that have passed the first reading in the National Assembly. They are very important for smaller business to grow. They are very important for larger business to expand. And I mean, it's a complete bill. We must give it to them. And we must, when they do what is right, we should be able to say, well done, National Assembly. When they do what is wrong, we should be able to say, you got it wrong this way. I think in this sense, they've gotten it really right. And I hope the president will assign his signature to it, and let's have this bill running.
Exactly. Let's have this bill running. But they are excited about the bills also. It's not just only you, Muktar. And one of the aspects that make me so excited is that, which we normally have query with federal land revenue in the past, is that they normally use 4% of every use 4% of every collection to collect collection. Now it has been reduced to 2%. So from 4 to 2% is what they'll be using to collect. And from your own angle, I hope this is good enough.
You see, sometimes when you look at it from the angle, in business, if you are going to use less fund to deliver more fund, that shows that you are prudent. So what it means is that all other revenue that they've been wasteful. If I can reduce your wasteful revenue by 50%, and I'm still sure we are going to have value, that shows that we are beginning to look at prudency in management. Because when you look at the tax, the revenue, like you said, that's your duty also collect revenue. Outside of it, you now collect 4% of that revenue. And sometimes when you look at that 4%, you have staffs, you have people that are working in those federal inland revenue. But yet, what you see is what you see is that they have consultants. So at least with this now, we'll not be seeing those who own for consultant, because you don't even have enough to take care of your staff. So getting consultant will not be anything they want to take. For me, I think it's very good.
All right. Now let's also look at another controversial aspect of the bill. Now the sharing formula has now been expressed this way: 10% for federal government, 55% for state government, and 35% for local government. Are we okay with this? I hope all the political juggernauts. Muktar, wait, let me land. I hope we are okay with this 10, 55, and 35.
Why would they be okay? 10 is even too high for the federal government. I mean, you are talking about value-added tax.
Exactly.
Definitely in developed economy, value-added tax goes to the local government or to the state government, where those products are consumed. Unfortunately, politics have wiped off what would have been also a game changer for every state to begin to think of how they can empower their people so that they can consume and also be able to earn more value-added tax. But remember, that was the challenge that the 19 northern state governments were not ready to support it. And so we see the illusion of that, what would have been a game changer. But all the same, I think 10% is okay for the federal government. 55% for the state government, fantastic. 35% for the local government, for me, that is huge, especially coming from the backdrop of the Supreme Court judgment that makes it that the local government are autonomous. So for me, I think those are good. But again, you have your doubt, because if you look at since President Tinubu came to power, the governments, the state governors, the local government have earned more in terms of revenue. But when you ask them why they're not doing more, like what we are seeing the federal do, they will tell you that we're not doing more because we are paying about we are using most to pay the minimum wage, which has gone up to 70%. So giving them more money, for me, we will need to see the value that they will create. But if you are looking at the antecedents, I'm not too so excited about the volume of money that will come, what it will be able to do for the citizens.
Very interesting perspective, especially as many Nigerians are also asked that in the past, most of the money going to the state governors, we can't see it. And well, there's this particular critical questions that comes in when this formula of VAT sharing came up. When the moment I saw it, I was like, can I begin to ask myself or ask anybody that, won't this sharing formula make some state government to be lazy? Muktar, help us out.
Yeah, that's why I said you hit the nail on the head. That's why I said the former proposal was one of the best. So whereby state government make your state attractive to attract industry, then they consume that product in your state. Then if you don't make yourself a state attractive, make your people financially build on your people financial well-being, so that they will be able to consume of companies that are located in your area, and so by virtue of that you earn more value-added tax. So it was a good bill, but again, politics have taken it away from us. So for me, that would have been a game changer, because I don't see why I, as a state, will develop infrastructure for consumption, empower my people for consumption, and you, as another state, you do nothing. In some states, want some of these products that add value-added tax to the economy in terms of huge contribution to the value-added tax are not allowed to come into those states for consumption. But yet you are now you will take value-added tax from what you don't permit in your state. That is a great injustice. That's why I felt that former initiation would have been one that will see the light of day, and that would have been good. But unfortunately, like I said, politics took center stage, and we are not seeing that.
Very interesting. Now let's also take a look at another controversial issue, although it has to do with grammar, it has to do with name. Now we are now replacing derivative with place of consumption. What's your reaction to that? No more derivative. Now it is now place of consumption. At least help us out to understand that particular juggernaut rearrangement for National Assembly.
It's change of grammar. You just change it. You say derivative, not to consumption. But like I just told you, what has that helped? How has that helped? In terms of where you are consuming it, they are not going to have so much money compared to what is not, where is not consuming it. So for me, it's just a change of words. But again, sometimes that little change of words will make a lot of difference to our mindset. And that, for me, that's what is important about that. But to say it will be anything that will drive revenue higher than where it is, I don't think so.
Exactly. And thank you, Muktar, for that. But I would like to quickly say that this particular tax reform has not come without its own wahala or controversial, as we normally say it in technical form. Now, this tax reform is also come with some bureaucratic enlargement. We are going to be having executive directors, 6 executive directors from the 6 geopolitical zone. Muktar, we have been complaining about cost of governance. Now, we are going to be having people employed as executive directors. What's your reaction to that?
And the good thing about this private executive director, they will pay from their 2%.
Definitely, definitely.
So if they are going to pay from their 2% of what they will earn, fantastic. But you know, Nigeria is a very complex country, and you need to have every political zone represented in the body, the name of the federal character. So for me, it's okay if they also bring a lot of innovative and creativity to the table. It's not that you just are there because of the largesse sitting down there, and who are these people that are going to be executive director? Are they people that have the technical ability? But we are not looking for politicians. We are looking for technocrats that will also be able to add value in terms of tax. Because being an executive director in Northwest, North Central, is to see how Northwest will benefit from the tax reform by how much Northwest will be able to pay. In the developed economy of the world, you see that depending on your payment of tax, then you begin to enjoy more development than those that pay lower tax. So I think those are the innovation I expect to be seen, to be put into that bill also. So for me, it's not a bad thing when you have all these things. It's just a spreader character. But what is more important is, did you put the right people there rather than having politicians that are only interested in what they can get for the next election? That, for me, that would be the only problem if they do that.
Exactly. And when you talk about putting the right people there, there's going to be a mandate secretary. And they said for the qualification of a mandate secretary, it's going to be a legal practitioner or a sound financial expert. Mandate secretary are coming into the tax reform. Muktar, help us out.
Well, it's just a look at the law. I mean, when it's a mandate to make sure that things are gone the way it's supposed to be done, because secretaries are always the people that drive the secretariat. They are the ones that make the secretariat active. So secretaries of those boards are the ones who drive the development of those boards to make sure that some of this mandate that have been set and everything is done according to the act as it's signed. So I think there's no ambiguous in that issue. It's clear what their duties are. And I think we don't need to worry about that. I think for me, that's fine.
Exactly. Now, talking about another issue that we need to quickly touch on this particular one is that the Senate have said this particular law is going to transmit and transform Nigeria, or as they put it, revolutionize our tax atmosphere or tax ecosystem. But one word they made mention that many Nigerians will not also be very comfortable when it comes to tax reform that the president has presented. They say it's going to benefit all Nigerians. But arguably, some people may want to argue that the tax in itself, it's not that it's not benefiting people, but sometimes it may not be a broad benefit to all Nigerians. What's your take about that?
Yes, I agree. It might not be a broad benefit. And again, the rich always have a way of not paying the right tax, because there are one or two areas they can pounce on legally that help them. So definitely, it looks sometimes like if it is the poor that are paying more tax than the rich. And it happens in every economy, even the developed economy. That is what normally happens. But I think with this bill, it could be different in such a way that what we see, I don't know whether it's coming in the next two bills, but there was a provision that means that the rich will pay more in terms of taxes than the poor. So definitely they will begin to contribute their own quota. My own challenge is the management of these resources. How much are we going to be able to manage the kind of funds that will be finding that, because we are going to get a lot of Nigeria in the tax bracket now. And so that means that there will be a lot of money coming to the second, to the third, and even to the first tier of government. How will we be able to hold them accountable for what they have collected? As a taxpayer, will you be able to say, look, I'm paying my tax, this is not possible, this is not possible. So we want to see a government that, by virtue of tax, then they begin to maintain economic prudency in terms of management of the resources. We don't want to see three senior special advisor having special advisor, having secretary. So we need to see a government in clear terms in terms of development, what you want to do, how you are going to execute it, what is needed to do it, and that is where this tax reform bill is key.
Exactly. But I won't let you go without asking you this question. You are an industry player. I know your eyes is on the screen right now, checking what is happening on the stock market. How is the market going?
Well, the market is fine. I think at the moment we've seen some couple of losses from those that have really came during the week, especially yesterday. We are seeing drop in price in Zenith as of midday trading. We are seeing drop in price in Nigerian brewery that has been a stock that has been going high. We're seeing slightly drop in flash, but like I said, that was midday trading.
Exactly.
Everything can change.
Exactly.
The market is dynamic and the market is fine. The market is still undervalued as far as I'm concerned. That's for me. A lot of equity should be selling more than that based on their earnings or their future earnings and what we expect from them, especially if you are playing the financial sector. And if you are not even playing the financial sector, the non-financial sector, if you look at how they've been able to stabilize FX in one way or the other, which have wiped off all their profit, then you begin to see that they are coming to profitability, especially companies that were declaring over 900 billion losses. Now they are coming back to profit. You are talking about companies like MTN. You are talking of recent, we have seen Nigerian brewery coming up also in terms of profitability. So Guinness also have come out of the wood. They have been there's a new profitability. Nestle Nigeria also. So you can see with all these companies, you can see that the economy of Nigeria seems to have a direction, but that direction must be pulled through with good, sound microeconomy policies that will continue to drive growth both in the equity market and also for smaller business, which I call the main street and the broad street.
Exactly, the main street and the broad street. Thank you so much, Muktar Muhammed. And very fantastic, submission on the tax reform bill. But we are all expectant on the rest 2 bills that will be passed today or tomorrow. Maybe when they are fully passed, we still have to get you engaged on this tax reform. But thank you so much for bringing your perspective to today's discussion on the passage of the 2 bills that have been done by National Assembly Senate.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, now enjoy the rest of your day in Lagos.
You too.
All right.